Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for inviting me.
All right, so Trump controls the federal government, right? Has purview over the federal government. The governors, the mayors, they control the states, the cities, the counties, the townships, you name it. What happens if Trump says we're going to do this and they say we're not going to help you do that?
Well, they don't have to help.
Right. So that's why I'm wondering, like, how all that plays out.
Well, the law is on the president's side in regards to the courts have ruled that federal law has supremacy in our
immigration.
World, in immigration specifically.
Right.
Very good. And so there are people out right now, officers, men and women of ICE, who are out looking for people who are fugitives from immigration court, threats to public safety that are in the country illegally or have done something to make them deportable. So this activity occurs with or without the help of places like Chicago and Denver.
So you use the word help, right? Is it going to be easier in some states, for lack of a better term, because some states will do what or not will do, but support the president's plans, whereas others clearly don't?
Yeah, remember the electoral map broken down by county? Most of them are red. County sheriffs have jurisdiction over law enforcement inside those counties. So you have 287G law on the books that was, I think, was built in like '92, which allows local jurisdictions to have trained officers help immigration agents on the ground in places that have those agreements. And so there's a way to do it without the help, without support of the local law enforcement, but it's much easier done. It's safer for the constituency.
Okay.
And then let's talk about sanctuary cities. What's the premise here? These are people who came to the United States, were not invited here, came without inspection against federal law, and then they broke another crime in their city or town. And so why are we protecting people who are afoul of the law, both federally and state and local?
What would you say? So Katie Hobbs is the Democratic governor in the border state of Arizona. She said this earlier today, and I'll get your reaction, or earlier this week, rather, and I'll get your reaction.
I am very hopeful that that partnership can continue and that the incoming administration will listen to not only my administration, but the experts here on the ground, the people that are doing the work about what is most needed and what we can continue to do that will be most helpful in securing our border.
She says her experts are the ones that are on the ground.
Well, state and local law enforcement, the reason the federal government has task forces with state and local participants is because they know the lay of the land better than federal agents in every
So is she right there, then?
Well, is it true that locals know the way to go? Yes. Is it also a detriment to her constituency that there are people among them that are in the country illegal and have committed other crimes? That's bad for her constituency as it is for border security across the board.
You know Donald Trump's immigration policy as well. As I mentioned, you were the head of ICE for about a year or so. What do you think the first day, week, month looks like?
Stop the leak at the border.
What do you mean by that? I mean, I know what you mean by that, but that's a pretty broad statement.
Solidify policies that allow people to have their due process in immigration court, but don't come in the country and be released in the United States. And that incentive where people come across the border illegally and then are released into cities and towns in the U.S.
Ron Vitiello, thank you for watching. And make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.